Hello everyone. Are you able to hear me properly? Okay. Let me just share my screen. So today we are simultaneously going to work on functions and then obviously objects and arrays and some properties of objects. Apart from that, the functions you won't be learning exclusively. Please mute yourself if you are not speaking anything. Okay, who else is unmuted? No one. Okay, great. So what we will be doing, we will be basically working on around arrays and objects on a specific manner. Sideways, we will be doing on with functions as well. Like we will be using functions to define arrays or objects or some properties of that. Okay, because functions are not something which wholeheartedly you can use it without using any other thing, so you need some base for using functions. We'll be doing it. Great. So let me just share my I have shared my screen. Okay, let me just open the text editor. I wasn't able to take one class because I was absolutely ill that time, and that's the reason why I was not able to take the class. Okay, great. So did you guys practice Bootstrap, like try to work around Bootstrap, try to explore something using Bootstrap? Yes, great, great. Okay, okay. So first of all, let us start with objects, okay? So what are basically objects? Objects are certain elements or keywords inside JavaScript which contain key value pairs. Okay, and object oriented programming, here I won't be like describing a lot about objects. Objects have a whole, around 40 hours of lecture for just objects and mastering it. That's a separate topic, object oriented programming, and that's an important topic as well for your interviews and placements. So you should, if you want to master it, you should obviously do that. There are a lot of courses available for that, and you can do it using any of those courses. And apart from that, in object oriented programming, you will be getting a lot of things like inheritance and other things like object properties, class properties, and how to do these all things, and what are basically private, public, and these all things. So a lot of things are available over there. Okay, so you can do that. If you want to deep dive into objects, here we will be learning about some basics of objects, which is important for development purpose. Okay. Bootstrap, I basically taught you how to read the documentation of Bootstrap. I taught you, I have uploaded the recording of Bootstrap. If you want, you can go over there. I basically talked about the documentation of Bootstrap, and we tried to build the navbar and use certain elements inside Bootstrap in order to style everything using Bootstrap. And that's all it. JavaScript is basically you can say depends on the use. You want to use it as a scripting language or as a programming language. It acts as both. Okay, it acts as great. So let us start with objects. So what are basically objects? Objects are something which are okay. Let us just remove this nav bar from here. Let us remove these all things. We don't need this bootstrap right now. Yeah, and inside the body also, let us remove everything. Let us just have a h1 called hello. Okay, let us do this. Great. Inside, okay, we need to attach our script. Yeah, okay. This was the DOM session. I was taking the DOM session, right? So yeah, this is all about that. Great. After that, let me just rename this. Rename. It's not Okay, I can't rename it like this. Great, no issues. This is not our DOM project. This is basically our objects and all things. Great. So how to link your script? You just have to use a script tag, and inside the script tag, you have to use a source. Okay, SRC. You guys know about it. And here I will be writing script.js because that's the file name. Okay, inside script.js, we will be having our JavaScript. So what are objects? Objects are certain, elements inside JavaScript which contain key value pairs. Okay, key value pairs. So it's like a dictionary. It's like a dictionary inside your Python or inside C, C++. Inside C, C++, there is nothing specific called as dictionary. But yeah, inside the C, C++, there are certain things called maps and all. Okay, so similarly here also inside your JavaScript, you have objects. Okay, objects are not like maps. Okay, maps are different data structures. Objects are something which are present in all the data structures. Okay, it's like a element which has certain key value pairs. Okay, which has certain key value pairs. So let us just create an object over here. So let us create an object called items, and let us just have certain key values. This is the key. On left hand side you have the key, on right hand side you have the value. Again on left hand side we'll have another key called rings, and on the right hand side we'll have the value. Okay, so these are basically your key value pairs. Okay, on the left hand side you have your food key, and the price of food is 1000. So on the right hand side you have your value. Okay, great. Now what we are trying to do, we are trying to calculate our cart value. So initially you don't have anything inside your cart, so the cart value is 0. Now I want to add certain items to my cart. Okay, so let us do that using functional programming. We will create a function. Here, what will be the function name? Let us just add a function name called add cart value. Okay, inside add cart value, we need to add certain item. Okay, so that using that item's price only, we need to access the entire value for the item, right? So how to do that? We have to pass something in the parameter. Let us name it as item. Okay, let us name it as item. Inside the function, we need to return something. You guys know how things are returned inside functions. I had told you, I had taken an entire session on, introduction to functions. There I had told you that how to return things inside function. A function can either return things or can console log certain things inside it as well, or can do certain other tasks as well. Here we are basically doing the basic thing, that is return. So what we are returning the cart value plus whatever item you have added in it. Okay, great. So this is what has been done. Now I need to update the cart as well. I need to update the cart as well, right? I want that, okay, my cart has, the new item has been added to the initial cart price, but the cart needs to be updated with the final price, okay, final total price. So how to do that? Let us create another function and let us name it add to cart. Okay, and inside this functions also we need to pass the item. Now, here we are studying about higher order functions. What are higher order functions? When we call another function inside a function. So this is the add to cart. Here you will be passing in an item. This function will call the add cart value function. Okay, inside add cart value, your cart and the item price will be added. And now the added price will be returned and will be updated to your initial cart. Okay, how will it be done? Let us see. So we are updating the cart, like the initial cart price with the final value that has been added to the cart price, and that has been done inside the function add cart value. Okay, so we will be calling add cart value, and inside it we will be passing in the item again. So the workflow is basically, first we are calling this function. Inside this function, we are calling another function. Inside this particular function, we are adding the cart and the item price and we are returning it. The returned value is getting stored inside cart. So the cart value is getting updated again. Okay, so which function do we need to call? We just need to call one function, that is add to cart. If we just call this function, it will automatically call this function and everything will be done. Okay, inside add to cart, how to basically pass in certain item, so we can pass in certain item by using the dot operator. Now I want to either add the food or the drink. Okay, I either want to add the food or I want to add the drink. So how I can do that? I can access any of the keys of any object by using the dot operator. So how to do this? If I want to access the food, then I need to write here items dot food. Okay, so the food value will be passed over here. Now if I want to add drinks, then I have to write items dot drinks. Okay, but I just want to add the food, so I'll write items dot food and we are done. Okay, the cart value will be updated. How to check in the updated cart value? How to check in that? We can console log. How to console log it? We'll just write over here a statement called cart value. Let us write it with a capital C. Yeah, this is one of the static messages that will be available, and after the cart value we will be just passing in the cart price. Okay, like here the cart variable, so we'll be passing in the cart variable and we are done. Okay, got it. So this is how it will be done. Now if I just copy the full path of this particular thing, if I just go into my browser, paste it, you can see that the cart value is 1000 right now. Just a second, let me just plug in my charger. Okay, so you can see that the cart value has been updated, right? So this is how it works. Got it, everyone? Got it, everyone? Understood? Repeat. Okay, so here first of all I'm repeating. You have your object. Inside the object you have your key value pairs. This is your key, this is your value, this is your key, this is your value. You can have a lot of keys and values, and after the value can be of any format, like it can be of a number data type, it can be of a string data type, it can be of a Boolean data type, any data type according to your requirements or according to the structure of your object. Now, after that, here, what's the logic? We have our cart variable. Inside our cart variable, the initial price is 0, okay, because there is nothing inside the cart. Now, I want to add certain items to the cart and update the cart value. Okay, every time I add certain item, I need to update the cart. So what I can do, I have created this is the workflow. Okay, I have created a function over here, add to cart, which is taking in the item to be added. Now inside the function, the add cart value function is called, and the passed item is passed over to this function, and inside the function we are adding up the initial cart value and the item. Okay, and the item, and after that we are basically adding in like those all things, we are returning it and we are storing the return value to the cart, because ultimately we want to update the cart. Okay, that is the reason. It's not really necessary. Okay, it's not really necessary. Just to show you higher order functions, I did this. Okay, it's not necessary. You can do it directly using one function as well. Okay, got it, everyone? Understood? Yes. Okay, so I'm pasting in this code inside the chat section. Take 2 minutes and do this, then we'll come on to the next topic, that is the this keyword, and we will be understanding it. Okay, so yeah, please do this. Okay, guys, if you are done, then we can proceed forward. Okay. Great. Okay. So let us go over here. Now, over here, you can see that we have variable. Okay. Now, we want to like mark in the difference between variable and constant and let keyword. Okay. So basically, the main difference between variable and let keyword is the scoping. Okay. It is basically in ES version 6 language, it is called hoisting. Okay, hoisting. So if I write here, it's called hoisting. Okay, what is basically hoisting? Hoisting is something where all the declarations are moved to the top, even if you declare the variable at the end. Okay, not initialization, declaration. Okay, so if I just write here, if I just remove this, and at the end of the program also I write var cart. Okay, and if I save this, and again if I go into my console and if I refresh it, still the cart value is 1000. Okay, still the cart value is 1000. Because what is hoisting? Hoisting is something where even if you declare a variable at the end of a program, or anywhere in the program, in the middle, in the end, inside this function, anywhere, still all the variable declarations are moved to the top. Okay, to the top. This is called hoisting. Okay, but the thing is that inside ES version 6 we are using let keyword. If you are pretty familiar with C++, you must be knowing that inside C++ there is nothing called hoisting for any int or boolean or float or any of the data types. There is no property called hoisting. They basically follow the scope rules only. in them the compiler starts from the first line and goes accordingly, and if it sees that a variable has been initialized before it is declared, it basically throws a error. Okay, this is initialization, and this is basically your declaration. A lot, like most of the programming language, almost all of the programming language, declaration happens before initialization. Okay, and if like in any programming language you try to initialize a variable before declaring it, then it will throw a error. But in JavaScript there was a peculiar property called hoisting which prevented this. But now in ES version 6 we have let keyword, which basically, you know, eliminates the hoisting property. If you basically go over here, this is the only difference between var and let. If I just search for var keyword, okay, only two var are there. Okay, I want to replace them with let. Okay, now replace all. Okay, they have been replaced with let. Okay, I did not put a space after. Yeah, they have been replaced with the let keyword. Now if I go now you see that over here I have declaration, here I have initialization, over here I have initialization. If I go and try to refresh, you see cannot access cart before initialization. Okay, it's not able to look out for declared cart. It saw that okay, it has been initialized, but there is nothing, no cart keyword declared before the initialized cart. Okay, so this is basically hoisting. Hoisting is peculiar property of JavaScript which takes in all the variables, that is var keyword initialized or declared, all the declared vars to the top of the program at the beginning of the program. Okay, so this is what is the peculiar property of JavaScript. Now if I just replace let with const, okay, so if I control F, now let me search for let place all. If I go over here, you see inside const also the same thing is happening. Okay, so var is the only thing which basically supports hoisting. Okay, now according to the recent norms, it is very recommended to use let only. You should use let is like mostly used, var is not used. Okay, const you should use when you have no chances, or you do not have to, you do not want to modify your entire object. Okay, you do not want to modify your entire object or any of the things, so that time you can use const. But other than that, you should basically go for let only. Okay, you should basically go for let only, you should not go for var. Okay, got it. So let me just change this const to let, and let me replace all. Now this is one of the things of ES version 6. Another thing of ES version 6 is very important, that is arrow functions. Okay, arrow functions are very important. Now what are arrow functions? Whatever function you have over here, you can do it using a normal function as well, you can do it using a arrow function as well. So how to make a arrow function? Basically write this function as const let or var, anything you want. I'm just writing it as const because you are never going to change a function. So yeah, const add to cart, like sorry, add cart value, and then over here you have a arrow. Okay, and basically here you don't have arrow because I thought that okay, this is empty, no issues. Here you have a equals to, then after the equals to you have your round brackets. Okay, where are your round brackets? Just after the function name you have equals to, then you have round brackets, inside the round brackets you have a parameter, then over here you have a arrow. Okay, arrow basically says that now the callback function has started. Okay, now the callback function has started, and then you have a semicolon. Okay, similarly, if I want to convert this, I can write const add to cart, then over here equals to, then over here I have this. Okay, I have this. Okay, I forgot a semicolon. Okay, got it. I need to declare it at the top because that's not allowed. Okay. If I go over here and refresh, cart value 1000. The same result you have got, but using arrow function. Okay, so arrow functions are basically very important. You know, they are one of the very important properties of ES version 6. Got it, guys? These are arrow functions. Understood? Understood? Please reply. Great. Difference between normal function and arrow function is that arrow function is ES version 6 property and normal function is not. And apart from that, there is a syntactical error, sorry, syntactical difference. And yeah, there are other things also, like some other properties as well, which are supported by arrow functions and not by this function, normal function. And some properties are supported by normal function but not by arrow functions. Okay, so you will be learning that by due codes. Do not worry about it. Take 2 minutes and just explore the difference between let and all, like by exploring yourself the hoisting property, and then we will go to this keyword. Okay, this keyword is very important. We'll go to that. Okay, first you do this. Okay, the code, yeah, I'll be showing the code. Okay, is everyone done? Great. Okay, so let us move forward and let us just go to this keyword. Okay, so let me just remove this. Okay, now we are going to learn about this keyword. Okay, so what is basically this keyword? This keyword is basically helpful for you to grab the current executing object, whatever object you are in and you are executing that. So it is basically helpful to grab your parent object or the current executing object. Okay, so current executing object. Okay, so this is the importance of this keyword. Now let us just understand it by taking an example. So over here, let us name it as our object itself. And then we have our object over here. Now let us name it as this keyword. Okay. Okay, great. This is one of our keys. And then let us have our function over here. Okay, so inside any object you can have functions as well. So we will be having function over here. So get this, this is basically the function, and then we have our function over here. Now inside the function we will basically be having our function body. Okay, whatever function we want to have over here. So you can put a lot of logic inside it, but now we are just playing around with this keyword. So let us try to get that what is basically this keyword. So we have console log, and here you just write this. Okay, this has its significance. Okay, this has its significance. It will basically say that okay, this entire thing is your current object. Okay, this entire thing is your current object. You are executing this object. Now if I just call upon this our object, and if I want to grab the function get this, so using the dot operator I can grab the function get this. And yeah, if I just do this and save it, if I just go over here and refresh, then you can see that I have got the entire object. Okay, the entire object I have got as a console log. If I just go into the object, you can see that I have got a name, that is this keyword. Okay, so this is one of the keys over here. Apart from that, another key is the get this, and then after that the callback function over here. So you can see that I have got the entire current executing object, and that is the importance of this keyword. Okay, that's the importance of this keyword. Got it, guys? Got it, everyone? Understood? What's the importance of this keyword? Yeah, great, great. So if I just log, let us just try to play around this. If I just console log this, and if I go refresh it, then you can see that I have got window, because when you are not inside any object, then your browser window is your parent. Okay, when you are not inside any active object, then your browser window is your parent. So that is why I got the window as my current executing object. It is basically my parent. Okay, so that is why I got the window. Understood? Understood, everyone? What is the importance of this keyword? Yeah. You can access. See, that is na here inside this you got the entire thing. Now you can do this dot any keyword. Any keyword you want name, then you can just write this dot name. If you want get this, that is the entire function. You can do that also. So you can play around that. Okay, you can play around that. So this is basically the importance of this keyword, and we will be using a lot. This keyword is useful. Okay. Okay, I'm repeating again. Over here, you have your object. Inside the object, we have our two keys. One of the keys is the name, that is this keyword. We have put our name as this keyword. And then we have our function. Okay, you can have any function as a value as well. So get this and the function. Here we are console logging this. This means the current executing object. This is our current executing object, because console log, this entire console log statement statement is referring to this, entire current executing object, and we are trying to get the keyword. We are basically trying to get the entire current executing object. So how to get it? We have to call this function. So we have called this function by going to our object and accessing it using the dot keyword. And using the dot keyword, once we have gotten the function, now the function will be executed and it will basically console log your entire current executing object. So if I go into my console and refresh it, I'll be getting my entire object. Okay, inside the object I have two keys, one is name and one is the get this function. So I'm getting both of them. And if you just expand it, you will be seeing that like a lot of headers are present over here which we cannot understand, but yeah, we can understand the layout of this function, the structure of this entire thing, entire object. So yeah, apart from that, if I just try to console log this, then I will be getting in the window, because over here you can see that if you don't have any object, here we don't have any object, it is just console log this, then who is our parent, who is our current executing object? It is the browser window. Okay, it is the browser window. So that is why when you just console log this, then you are getting browser window. And if you just expand it, you are getting a lot of headers, cookies and all. So yeah, got it. Great. Great. Now after this, let us go to arrays. Okay, arrays. So what are arrays? Arrays are basically a data structure which are used to store, or you can say it's a list which is used to store items, a lot of items of the similar data type. So inside a variable or let, you are just storing one item, but just by using array, you can store items of similar data type. Okay, so how to basically declare an array inside your entire JavaScript? So how we can do that? Let us have let, and then let us name our array as my array equals to, let us have certain numbers over here, 5, 6. Okay, now this is your array. Okay, this is your array. Here you have 6 numbers. They are of same data type, that is number. And apart from that, there is a collection of same data type elements. So if I try to console log my array, okay, then if I go into my browser and if I try to refresh it, um, so there's a main function in JavaScript. Sorry, I did not get your point. So yeah, you can see that over here I have 6 elements. So once I have 6 elements over here, you have to understand the indexing. Okay, the number at the 0th position, here it does not start from first position. Okay, the numbering starts from 0. Okay, this number is at the 0th position, this number is at the first position, this number is at the second position, third, fourth, fifth. Okay, the array length is 6, but the position, if someone asks you what is the position of 2, you will say that the position of 2 is the first index. Okay, first index, because in all the programming language, they follow zero indexing. Okay, they follow zero indexing. So that is the reason why the element at the first index is 2. Okay, got it? Great. Got it, everyone? Understood, everyone? Okay, great. Now there are a lot of methods inside your array, because array is an object. Okay, array is nothing in its backend. In the backend of JavaScript, it is an object. Every object has a lot of methods. Okay, the methods can be functions, can be name, can be any key. Okay, so over inside arrays also you have a lot of function. So in in C++ programming language, you have a lot of things inside vector, like you have pushback and all, you have sort and all, you have a lot of things. So inside this also you have a lot of things. So let us just explore some of the things. So suppose I want to add certain thing to the end. Okay, so what I can write here, my array dot push, and then I can write 7. Okay, so if I console log my array, if I console log my array, and if I save this, and if I go over here and I refresh the page, you can see that earlier my array was of 6 length and it was 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now at the end, because I have pushed an element to the end, so at the end another element has been added, that is 7, because I tried to push 7 to the end of the array. Got it? Okay. No, no. Inside JavaScript, there is no main function. You can create your own main function, but yeah, there is no. Okay, got it, guys? Yeah. There are other things as well in JavaScript, like here I have push method. Okay, what else can I have? Yeah, I can have a pop method as well. So if I want to pop out, okay, I want to pop out 7 from the end. So pop will basically act from the end only, and push will also act from the end as well. So if you push certain thing, that will be added to the end. If you try to pop, then the last element will be popped out. So if I just write here pop, and if I just try to console log my array, okay, and if I save this, then you can see that if I refresh, then the last element 7 was added to the array. Now I popped out, so 7 has been removed from the array. Okay, so similarly there are other methods as well, like unshift is there, shift is there, to add or remove certain things from the beginning. So if I want to add 0 to the first element, okay, I want to add 0 before 1, so I can use unshift. Okay, so if I write here my array dot unshift, and if I write here 0, and I try to console log my array, okay, if I save this, then you will see that 0 will be added to the beginning. So you can see that now 0 has been added, and now the index of 0 is 0, index of 1 is 1, index of 2 is 2. Okay, so 0 has been added. Now if I try to remove 0 from the beginning, okay, so how will I do it? So I'll write here my array dot shift, okay, dot shift, and then I'll just try to console log my array. Okay, shift will basically go to the beginning. It will see nothing. It will remove the beginning, the first element. Okay, the first element. So if I again go to my console and try to refresh it, you can see that 0 was added. Now 0 has been removed from the first. Okay, 0 has been removed from the first. So this is how things works inside array. There are a lot of things like splice and all is there, and a lot of properties are there. We will be using them by the time we require them. If we require them, we will be using them. But yeah, these are some of the basic and some of the important things you should know. Okay, got it? But do we have parent function without declaring? See, inside JavaScript, you do not have to declare a function in order to use it, like do inside, oh, yeah, like you do inside C++. But yeah, you need to follow one thing, that if you have not initialized a function and you are trying to use it before you have initialized any function, then you cannot use it. That's a common sense thing. Okay. Yeah, you can push elements in between as well. No, you cannot give pop, you cannot give indexes to pop or shift. You cannot give that. Pop and shift acts on the end and on the beginning, okay, respectively. And it just acts on the 0th and the last index. Okay, you cannot play around that. Yeah, you can push elements in between as well. Try to explore on this topic. Okay. It's okay. How fast are push and pop? Depends on data structure. I'm a C++ person, so inside C++, if you try to talk about, other data structures, like if you talk about set, then it's order of 1. If you talk about vector, then it's order of 1. If you talk about linked list, then depends if you are pushing on to the between, or if you're trying to, remove from end or something like that. Okay. Here it's O of 1, I guess. Index of pop is length of array minus 1. Okay, because last element is present at the index length minus 1. Okay, so index of pop is length minus 1. Yeah, you can create a multi-dimensional array as well. But this is development, right? Inside development, you will not need a multi-dimensional array. You are not trying to code in JavaScript, you are not trying to do data structures in JavaScript, right? We are using basic JavaScript, functional syntax and all uh, just in development purpose, because in development you will have certain logic. So we are using for that. Okay, and you don't need to think about can we use this data structure, that data structure. Okay, yeah, great. Okay, so do you have any doubts? Please take 2 minutes and do this. Whatever I wrote over here, I'm just copying and pasting it in chat box. Take 2-3 minutes and do this ASAP. Okay, so no, it's on spot. It's on spot. It's just like order of one, so it's on spot. It's not anything like. Is array data type? It's a data structure. Okay, it's like an object, you can say, but not properly a object. It's a data structure. Yeah, in backend it's a object. Okay, in backend it's a object. Okay, guys, I guess you are done. And yeah, ma'am, give us something as an assignment to explore. Yeah, so please try to explore the JavaScript methods on array. Okay, because there are a lot of methods. I would highly recommend you guys to explore the methods like splice and all, and other methods like pushing things in between, popping things in between. Okay, okay. So I will highly recommend you guys to like use the methods like splicing and all, popping things or pushing things in between. So try to explore those methods and yeah, try to work around objects and all, because object is something which we will be using like anything. Object oriented programming is very important, like basic one, not advanced one, but objects will be used a lot in development. So I'll highly recommend you guys to do that. And yeah, okay, so please explore on this topic a lot and try to do it of your own. And that's it for today. Tomorrow we will be going on to the next part. We will be learning about promises and all, acing await and all. So yeah, okay guys, see you then tomorrow. Bye bye.